Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Philosophy of Life channel, where you can reflect, awaken, and connect with your true self. Today, we will listen. What is meditation? First of all, meditation is not concentration. In concentration, there is a self that is concentrating and there is an object that is concentrated on. There is duality. In meditation, there is no one inside and nothing outside. It is not a matter of concentration. There is no division between inside and outside. The inside flows into the outside. The outside flows into the inside. There is no more boundary. No more border. No more boundary. The inside is the outside. The outside is the inside. It is non-dual consciousness. Concentration is dual consciousness. That's why concentration creates fatigue. That's why when you concentrate, you feel exhausted and you can't concentrate for 24 hours. You have to take a day off to rest. Concentration can never become your nature. Meditation is not tiring. Meditation does not exhaust you. Meditation can become a 24-hour thing. Day in, day out, year in, year out. It can become eternal. It is the relaxation itself. Concentration is an action, an act of will. Meditation is a state of no will, a state of no action. It is relaxation. One just drops into one's being. And that being is the same as the being of all. In concentration there is planning, projection, idea. In concentration, the mind operates from conclusions. You are doing something. Concentration comes from the past. In meditation, there is no conclusion behind it. You are not doing anything special. You are simply understanding. It has no past. It is not tainted by the past. It has no future. It is the purity of all future. It is what Lao Tzu has called Wei Wu Wei. Action through non-action. This is what the Zen masters used to say. Sit quietly doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself. Remember, it's on its own. There's nothing to do. You don't pull the grass to grow. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself. That state, when you allow life to happen on its own, when you don't want to direct it, when you want to give it any control, when you don't manipulate, when you don't want to give it any control, when you don't manipulate, when you don't impose any discipline on it, that state of pure undisciplined dharma, that is meditation. Meditation is in the present, pure present. Meditation is direct. You cannot meditate, but you can be in meditation. You cannot be in concentration, but you can concentrate. Concentration is human. Meditation is divine. Concentration has a center in you. From that center it goes out. Concentration has the self in you. In fact, the person who concentrates a lot starts gathering a very strong ego. He starts becoming stronger and stronger. He starts becoming more and more willful. He looks more self-possessed. Rather than strong, a man of meditation does not become strong. He becomes silent. He becomes peaceful. Power is created from poison. All power comes from friction. From friction comes electricity. You can make electricity from water. When the river flows down the mountain, there is friction between the river and the rocks. And friction creates energy. That is why those who seek power always fight. Fight creates energy. It is always through friction that energy is created. Power is created. The world goes on going to war because the world is so dominated by the idea of power. You cannot be powerful without struggle. Meditation brings peace. Peace has its own power. But that is a completely different phenomenon. The power created by friction is violent, aggressive, masculine. Power. I am using this word because there is no other word. The power that comes from peace is feminine. It has its own grace. It is passive power. It is receptive. It is open. It does not come from friction. That is why it is non-violent. Buddha is strong. Strong in his peace. In his silence. He is strong as the rose. He is not as strong as a cotton ball. He is as strong as a child's smile. Very strong. Very fragile. But he is not as strong as a sword. He is as strong as a small earthen lamp. The little flame burns bright in the darkness. That is a completely different dimension of power. This power is what we call divine power. It does not come from friction. Concentration is friction. You fight with your mind. You try to focus your mind in some way. Towards some idea. Towards some object. You force it. You bring it back again and again. It tries to escape. It ran away. It lost its way. It started thinking 1,001 things. And you bring it back. And you force it. You come in from struggle. Surely power is created. That power is as harmful as any other power. That power is as dangerous as any other power. That power will be used to harm someone. Because power that comes from friction is violence. Something that comes from violence will be violence. It will be destructive. Power comes from peace. No friction. No fighting. No manipulation. That's the power of the rose. The power of a small lamp. The power of a child's smile. The power of a woman's cry. The power is in the tears. And in the dewdrops. It is immense but not heavy. It is limitless but non-violent. Concentration will make you a willful person. Meditation will make you a vast drum. That is what Buddha was saying to Siriputra. Ranaparamita means exactly meditation, the wisdom of the beyond. You can't bring it, but you can be open to it. You don't have to do anything to bring it into the world. You cannot bring it. It is outside you. You have to disappear for it to come. The mind must stop for meditation to be there. Concentration takes the power of the mind. Meditation is a state of no mind. Meditation is pure knowing. Meditation has no motive in it. Meditation is a tree growing without a seed. That's the magic of meditation. The magic, the mystery. Concentration has a seed in it. You concentrate with a purpose. There is a motive. It is motivated. Meditation is not motivated. Then why meditate if there is no motivation? Meditation comes into existence only when you have looked into all motivations and found them lacking. When you have gone through the whole circle of motivation and you have seen the falseness of it, you have seen that motivation leads nowhere. That you go round and round. You remain the same. The engine just keeps driving you, almost driving you crazy. Create new desires, but achieve nothing. Hands are still as wide and empty as before. When this is clear, when you look at your life and see all your motives fail. None of them succeed. None of them bring happiness to anyone. The engine only promises. The goods are never delivered. One engine fails and another engine comes along and promises you again. And you get fooled again. You get fooled again and again by the motive. Then one day suddenly you become aware. Suddenly you look at it, and that very looking is the beginning of meditation. It has no seed in it. It has no motive in it. If you meditate on something, then you are concentrating. It is not meditation. Then you are still in the world. Even if you are still interested in cheap things, ordinary minds, then you are still a criminal. Even if you meditate to attain to godhood, you are still a criminal. Even if you meditate to reach your destination, you are still a criminal. Because meditation has no goal. Meditation is the insight that all goals are wrong. Meditation is understanding that desire leads nowhere. See that? And this is not a belief that you can get from me or from Buddha or from Jesus. This is not a query. You will have to see it. You can see it right now. You have lived. You have seen many motives. You have been in turmoil. You have thought about what to do and what not to do. And you have done many things. Where has all that led you? Look into it. I'm not saying agree with me. I'm not saying believe in me. I'm simply making you aware of a fact that you had forgotten. This is not a theory. This is a simple statement of a very simple fact. Maybe because it is that simple. That's why you go on and on without even looking at it. Always concerned with complicated ways. Because something can be done with complicated things. You cannot do anything with the simple phenomenon. The simple is overlooked. The simple is forgotten. The simple is overlooked. The simple is so obvious that you never look at it. You go looking for the complex. Complexity has challenge in it. The complexity of a phenomenon, of a problem, of a situation gives you challenge. In that challenge comes energy, friction, conflict. You have to solve this problem. You have to prove that you can solve this problem. When this problem is there, you are moved by the excitement that there is a possibility of proving something. But what I am saying is a simple fact. It's not a problem. It doesn't challenge you. It simply is. You can look at it or you can avoid it. And it doesn't shout. It's that simple. You can't even call it a small still voice inside you. It doesn't even whisper. It simply is there. You can look. You cannot look. Look at it. And when I say look at it, I mean look at it now, immediately. No need to wait. And do it quickly when I say look at it. Look at it. Look quickly. Because if you start thinking, if you don't look quickly immediately, in that moment the mind comes in and the mind starts bringing prejudice. And you are again in a philosophical state of many thoughts. Then you have to choose what is right and what is wrong. Thinking has begun. You miss the existential moment. The existential moment is right now, just looking, and that is meditation. That looking is meditation. Just seeing the factuality of something, of some state, is meditation. Meditation has no motive, so there is no focus to it. And because there is no motive and no center, there is no self in it. You don't function from a center in meditation. You act from nothing. Response from nothing is what meditation is all about. The concentrated mind. It acts from the past. Meditation acts in the present. From the present it is pure response to the present. It is not reactive. It acts not from conclusions. It acts upon seeing existence. Observation in life makes a big difference when you act from conclusions. You see a person. You feel attracted. A beautiful person. Very nice looking. Innocent looking. Her eyes are so beautiful. So beautiful. But then she introduced herself and said, "I am a Jew, and you are a Christian." Something immediately rose and there was distance. Now the person was no longer innocent. The person was no longer beautiful. Do you have an idea about the Jew? Or is he a Christian and you a Jew? Do you have an idea about Christianity? What Christianity did to the Jews in the past? What other Christians have done to the Jews? How they have tortured the Jews through the ages? And suddenly he is a Christian. And something immediately changes. It is an act of conclusion, of prejudice, of not looking at the person anymore. Because this person may not be the person you think a Jew is strange to. Because every Jew is a different kind of person. Every Hindu is a different kind of person. Every Mohammedan is the same. You cannot act from prejudice. You cannot act by classifying people. You cannot divide people into groups. No one can be grouped into categories. You can be fooled by hundreds of communists. And when you meet the 101st communist, don't just believe the classification that you have made in your mind. That communists are liars or whatever. This one may be a different type of person because no two people are alike. Whenever you act from a conclusion, that is the mind. When you look at the present and don't allow any idea to interfere with the reality, to interfere with the fact, you just look at the fact and act from that view. That is meditation. Meditation is not something you do in the morning and you finish it. Meditation is something that you have to live continuously in every moment of your life. Walking, sleeping, sitting, talking, listening. It has to be a kind of atmosphere. The saint remains in it. The one who goes on dropping the past remains in meditation. Never act from conclusions. Those conclusions are your conditioning, your prejudices, your desires, your fears and all the rest of it. In short, you are there. You mean your past. You mean all your experiences of the past. Don't allow the dead to overcome the living. Don't allow the past to affect the present. Don't allow death to dominate your life. That is meditation. In short, in meditation, you are not there. Death has no control over life. Meditation is a kind of experience which gives you a totally different quality to live your life. Then you do not live like a Hindu, a Mohammedan, an Indian or a German. You simply live as consciousness. When you live in the moment and nothing interferes, the action is total because there is no distraction. Dispersion comes from past and future. When attention is total, action is total. It leaves nothing behind. It keeps freeing you. It never creates restraints on you. It never imprisons you. And that is the ultimate goal of Buddha. That is what he calls nirvana. Nirvana means freedom. Total. Absolute. Unhindered. You become the open sky. There is no boundary to it. It is infinite. It simply is. And then there is nothing surrounding you within and without. Emptiness is the functioning of the meditative state of mind. And in that emptiness is bliss. That emptiness itself is bliss. Meditation cannot be attained because meditation cannot be motivated. When you attain something, you attain through motivation. When you attain something, you always have to work for the future and plan for the future. You cannot attain anything right now except meditation. Let me repeat, you cannot attain anything right now except meditation. Why? If you want money, you cannot attain it right now. You're going to have to work hard at it. Legally, illegally, but you're going to have to work for it. There are slow ways. You can become an entrepreneur. And there are faster ways. You can become a politician. But you have to do something. Whether slow or fast, time is needed. Time is necessary. Without time, you cannot reach money. If there is no time, how can you reach this very moment? Whether you want to eat out of a restaurant early, whether you want to turn the wallet of the person sitting next to you, then it will take time. Time is a must. If you want to be famous, time will be needed. If you want to become a politically powerful person, time will be needed. Only meditation can reach right now. This very moment. This very moment. Why? Because that is your nature. Why? Because it's already there. You haven't changed it yet. That's it. But it's still there. Not changed yet. You can change it now. Not a single moment is lost. And if you are nothing but meditation coming full circle, God is nothing but the bud of meditation becoming a flower. This is not an attainment. This is your very reality. You can go on ignoring them for ages, forgetting them for ages, but you cannot lose them. They are there, just inside you. Any day you close your eyes and look, you will start laughing. And you have been looking for this lost moment, looking in the wrong place. You have been looking for this security that comes from nothing, but you are looking for it in money, in bank balances, this and that, and it never comes through that. It cannot happen. There is nothing outside you that can make your life secure. Outside is insecurity. How can it make your life secure? The government cannot make your life secure, because the government itself is insecure. Revolution may come. The bank cannot make your life safe, because the bank can go bankrupt. The woman you love cannot make your life safe. She can go love someone else. The man you love cannot make your life safe. He can die. All these things are still there. So the more secure you are outside, the more insecure you become, because then you are afraid of the bank because it may go bankrupt. If you have no assets, you don't care. Let it go bankrupt one day. But if you have a bank account, you worry. Then you come to one more insecurity. This possibility of the bank going bankrupt. Now you cannot sleep, because you keep thinking about what is going to happen. If you put your trust in anything external, it creates more uncertainty. That is why the richer people become, the more uncertain they become. But I'm not biased towards poverty either. Mind you, I'm not saying the poor are safe. They have their own insecurities. The rich have the insecurities of the rich. Of course, the insecurities of the rich are more complicated, while the insecurities of the poor are simpler. But the insecurities are still there. And I'm not saying that being poor is something very special, or that being poor is something very important and meaningful, or that you can brag about being poor. Being poor has nothing to do with spirituality. Being rich has nothing to do with spirituality. These are unrelated facts. The poor look just like the rich. The poor may have a bullock cart and the rich a Cadillac. But that doesn't matter. The bullock cart is just as superficial as the Cadillac. Both are superficial. The rich may have many bank accounts while the poor may have only a small wallet or savings. But that doesn't matter. Both are external views. Security is on the internal path. Because that's where you realize that no one dies. That no one suffers. That nothing can happen. That there is a pure sky. Clouds come and go but the sky remains forever. Life comes and goes. Forms come and go. But nothingness remains. This nothingness is already there. That is why Buddha says it can be attained only when you understand that it is unattainable. It can be attained only when you understand the basic fact that it was there. That it was the situation. The vast drum is already there. So there is no way to evolve, to develop it to its fullness there. Therefore, it can be attained in a single moment. Buddha calls it the vast drum that is full. Because the vast emptiness can only be full if it is there. If it is not full, that means something other than the vast emptiness is also there. And this something else will hinder, obstruct, and that something else will create duality, and that something else will create friction, and that something else will create tension. Something else will create anxiety. You cannot be at ease with something else. The vast emptiness is there only when it is full. When all the obstacles have been removed. When you don't have anything inside. When there is no one there to be the observer of it. Buddha said this vast emptiness is not even an experience. Because if you experience it, then that means you are still there to experience it. It is you, so you cannot experience it. You can experience only that which is not you. Experiencing means duality, the observer and the observed, the knower and the known, the subject and the manner, the seer and the seen. But there is only the wide drum. No one sees it. No one is allowed to see it. There is nothing as an object. There is nothing as a subject. This vast emptiness is full. It is completely full. Its fullness cannot be added to. Its fullness cannot be added to. Nothing can take it away from it. Because there is nothing, and nothing can add to it. It is completely full. The full emptiness is not the experience. Because there is no experiencer in it. Therefore, Buddha said spirituality is not an experience. God cannot be experienced. Those who say I have experienced God either do not understand what they are talking about, or they use very inappropriate language. You cannot experience God. In that experience you are not found. The experience is there but the experiencer is not there. So you cannot say it is experience. So whenever someone asked Buddha whether he had experienced God, he kept silent. He didn't say a word. He changed the subject immediately. He started talking about something else. Whenever it was asked throughout his life, he remained silent. Many people thought he had not experienced God. That's why he remained silent. But he was the only one who said nothing, negative or positive, and it was not because he had not experienced. He had experienced, but that cannot be said as an experience. That is why he remained silent. That is why Jesus remained silent. When Pontius Pilate asked what is truth, Krishnamurti went on, and he made a very economic distinction between experience and experiencing. And that's a beautiful distinction. He says, it's the experience that is not the experience. It's the process, not the thing. It is a moving wave, not dead. It continues, not ending. Gold goes into God, and so it is an ongoing phenomenon. It goes on forever. Gold never comes out of it. That is the experience. The process of life is like a river, like a flower blooming, and blooming, and blooming, and continuing to bloom, and it never comes to an end. To say that one has experienced God is foolish, deceitful, and stupid. To say that one has attained to a Santa, nirvana, truth is not very meaningful, because there are things that cannot be classified as attainment. Therefore the Buddha said, Sariputra, it is through one's own non-attainment that the mind has reached a point of cessation, and is no longer concerned with attaining anything. It attains Buddhahood. When the mind has come to an end, and is going nowhere, it starts going in, it starts falling into one's own being. That abyss, that emptiness, is reached through non-attainment. So don't become a successful person. Don't start thinking in terms of success that you have achieved this, that you have attained to God. It's just a game. The mind plays tricks on you. The name of the game changes, but the game, the sophisticated game, is still the same. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to Philosophy of Life channel.